They say nothing escapes it, and yet the universe, indifferent and precise, keeps its accounting. Nothing is lost, not heat, not momentum, not the smallest, ugliest fact. What falls in remains somewhere. I think this is where people misunderstand energy never dies and turn it into comfort. Energy never dies, but it can become so dense it stops being perceivable outcome. It becomes pressure, it becomes pattern, it becomes the invisible gravity that bends a life. There are fields where a particle can be described as many truths at once, here and not here, until the universe is forced to answer a question, until something observes, until something interacts and collapses the trembling cloud of maybe into sharp facts. Physicists name it with clean words, and mystics feel it as an ache of choice. Reality does not arrive at a finished product, it arrives as a bundle of potentiality. And the act of observing is an act of selection, not morally, but mechanically. This field is a trembling, restless ocean of possible worlds stacked on top of each other like transparent skins. And within every atom, within every living creature, within every nervous system, within every perception, there is a local version of the same mechanism. An instrument that cannot stop asking the universe to become something definite. Think of it as a lamp. Most lamps are frightened. A frightened lamp does not illuminate, it integrates. It narrows, it demands certainty the way drowning demands air. And when it demands certainty, it collapses the field into the nearest familiar outcome. Threat, rejection, shame, control, repetition. A frightened lamp turns reality into a corridor with one door. People think this corridor is fate, but it's only collapse. I want you to imagine for a moment a mining station. This station has been built to harvest rare matter, the observation itself, the fear, the obedience, the small predictable collapse. The station's screens run 24 hours a day, feeding everyone the same narrow beam. Danger, scarcity, enemies, disgrace, shame. The alarms are frequent. The rules are inconsistent. Sleep is rationed. Community is discouraged. Touch is treated like a weakness. And it's perfect. It's perfect because a nervous system starved of safety becomes an obedient observer. It collapses quickly. It chooses the most conservative world every time. It calls it realism. It calls it intelligence. It calls it just how things are. As children, we could hold the contradictions without panic. We could sit with the uncertainty like a cat sitting in sunlight. But years in these conditions have changed us. Proximity to density does that, whether cosmic or psychological. I remember when I first noticed it, I was still a teen. I felt my lamp snap into spear mode. The whole collapse happened instantly. I'm doomed, I'm trapped, I can't escape. This ends one way. It wasn't a thought so much as a gravitational event inside my ribs. And something inside me, some scrape of self not compact, noticed a pattern. Noticed how my attention behaved like an instrument in a laboratory. When fear rose, my perception narrowed. When perception narrowed, my choices shrank. When choices shrank, my life repeated. When life repeated, fear was confirmed. It was a closed loop, an internal black hole. They say raising your vibration changes reality. And they say if you're evolved enough, you can manifest your way out of anything. But nothing you believe will change the black hole. It doesn't care what story you tell. So is it a lie? No, it's just smaller than the poet's claim. It's more brutal, more youthful. So notice it, feel it, observe it. That's compression. That's what happens when the universe holds more information than it can express in the single frame you're standing in. And the other side? Well, there are theories, mathematical myths about a mirror, a one-way mouth that spits out what the void swallows. Scientists call it a white hole, a place of emergence. You each have one of those, not in the sky, but in here. The perception, the meaning, the ability to turn density into experience. The ability to take what cannot be held raw and output it as something that you can live with. A picture, a sentence, a choice. Your lamp doesn't create energy. It can't change what falls into the void, but it decides what comes out of your personal horizon as your reality. It decides what you will notice, what you will ignore, what you will call inevitable. So raising vibration isn't about becoming nicer, it's increasing how much of the field you can hold before you collapse it. When you're dysregulated, sleep deprived, threatened, alone, your lamp becomes a weapon, it becomes the spear. It collapses the field immediately into the most familiar fear. That's low vibration, it's not evil and it's not shameful, it's just narrow bandwidth. A system trying to survive. High vibration is a lamp that can stay open, a nervous system with enough safety to tolerate ambiguity, to hold several possible worlds at once without forcing the universe to become the same old disaster. But you need to remember, we are on a station designed to keep us afraid, because fear is a technology. It turns observers into predictable machines. The real battleground isn't out there in the cosmic wound, it's in the microsecond before the lamp collapses the field. The only magic is the pause. Begin your practice in secret, not like a saint, but like a saboteur. Guard your sleep like oxygen. Find people who can co-regulate, quiet voices, steady hands, and shared meals. Move your body so that panic won't be the only language your cells speak. Limit the station's fear broadcasts the way you limit poison. Learn breath as a lever, community as an armour, attention as rebellion. Do not become unrealistically positive, just become less deterministic. At first it's subtle, a tremor hits and you don't immediately decide it means death. A superior in your barks and you don't immediately collapse into shame. A door closes and you don't immediately assume abandonment. You hold the field one heartbeat longer, and in that extra heartbeat another option exists. Not always a happy one, just a different one. And sometimes enough time to change a life. The different option led to a different corridor with a different door. The black hole still swallows, it always will. Compression is part of the universe's architecture. But you will begin to understand the white hole, not as a cosmic event, but as a human function, the output of the meaning from the conserved density. If nothing's ever destroyed, then everything you survive remains within you. But what remains does not have to rule you like gravity. It can be translated, it can be metabolized into story, boundaries, action, art, protection, escape. And you realise raising your vibration isn't escaping darkness, it's learning not to let the darkness be the only observer, because the most dangerous lie on that station, the lie that keeps everyone docile, isn't that you can't change it, it's that this is the only reality there is. Learn the one act that the universe cannot automate. To look at possibility wide-eyed, steady, before choosing what becomes real.